Thank you all for having me here. Jen, your leadership of caring across generations has been a journey that I have watched for a very long time, since the idea. And to be here with all of you today is just an incredible testament to your commitment to not just the idea of caregiving, but to the dignity of caregivers. And so I want to appreciate you for the work that you've done and for inviting me to be here. There are so many caregivers in this space that I know. Every purple t-shirt, even some of the green ones. I have seen, I know, I see our members with the headsets. Thank you all for being here so much. We have created, Ms. Dina, how you doing? We have created a space in this caregiving community where everyone belongs. No matter what language they speak or country they come from or the amount of money in their bank account, this is our space. And we have done this work of coming together for a mighty long time. And I just am so grateful to be able to be invited here. I won't stay before you long. I know that there is a lot of work to do, but I gotta say, it is nice to be back in California as your United States Senator. And to choose to be in California with caregivers on the very day that marks my 1 month of serving as your senator, of serving as the only Black woman in the United States Senate. To do that with all of you has been really, really special all morning long. And it was important to me to be here. You could appreciate that there's probably, a number of different constituents who wanted me to spend time with them on today and every day. But I chose to center myself here because this is home. This is home for me in so many places and for so many reasons, not just the fact that I have had the honor of serving caregivers in this state for many, many years, not just because it's the only home that my 9-year-old daughter knows, but this is home because it really helps me to center who I am. Many of you have heard my story as a young person growing up in a small town in Magnolia, Mississippi. Small fact, I just talked to the guy who was giving me my mic, and he too is from Magnolia, Mississippi. His family is from Magnolia, Mississippi. I have never met another Magnolian in Los Angeles, so I am going to shout him out. But many of you know and have heard my story growing up in a small town in Magnolia, Mississippi. You know that my father died when I was 16 years old from heart disease. Many of you have heard me tell the story of my mom working as a classroom attendant. You've heard me talk about her work in a gas station. You have heard me talk about her as a caregiver, working in a nursing home from 11 to 7, the overnight shift, as a CNA, whose joy every morning was to get home in time enough to walk me and my 2 brothers to the crossing guard so that we could get to school on time. You also have heard me talk about her as not only my father's caregiver, but as a home care worker who served other elderly and people with disabilities in our community. And so when I say this is home for me, it is not just a place of nostalgia for the weather of Los Angeles. It is a fundamental reminder of who I am and how I got to this place, through the lived experience of being the child of a caregiver. All of the stresses that caregivers experience, being not only caregivers but parents, wage earners, pillars in your community, present in your children's school, present in your church, or other places of worship. I come back here and celebrate this moment with you with such excitement because it fills me with reminders of how everyday, ordinary people choose to do extraordinary things. And so I'm here just to celebrate you being extraordinary. And to join in clapping for you and cheering for you and fighting alongside of you as we take on what others might think to be impossible task of fighting for and delivering dignity for caregivers, not just in California, but caregivers around the country. And indeed, Doug Moore, around the world. I know you have traveled this globe with members of AFSCME talking with and fighting for caregivers in all parts of the world. And that is the task that we have in front of us. But what I know about this group of people is that when there is a barrier placed in front of us, we do the impossible. We choose to grab hold of one another, whether we speak the same language or not. We choose to wrap our arms around each other, whether we live in the same community or not. We choose to stand united with one another because we go to different houses of worship. Because we know that our differences are the things that bind us and will help us to build and break through and accomplish what others might deem impossible.
Senator Butler, we need to call for a ceasefire now on the Jewish American. Palestinians are being murdered. The U.S. is complicit in this genocide. Israeli occupation and apartheid is maiming and traumatizing Palestinians with all abilities of all ages. And a ceasefire is care. A ceasefire is harm reduction.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here to voice and give incredible voice to this. I want to honor these caregivers here who are here to talk about the work that they are doing. And this is the room that you should be in to ask about my courage. To ask about my courage to face down Governor Brown and fight to raise their wages. To ask about my courage to face down nursing home employers to fight for the health insurance that they deserve. This is the very place that you should question my courage. And so in honor of the work that all of you have been doing to fight for the people for whom you are providing care, the arms that you are grabbing, the voices that you are raising, the young people who you are lifting up, the stories that you are telling. In honor of all of that work, I really could not be any other place than right here at home.
Thank you.
Let me offer a couple things as we talk about what is in front of us, the battle that folks would believe to be impossible, the agenda that we are here united across generations to fight for. We're here to fight for child care. I know there are child care providers in the house. We are here to fight for paid leave. I know that there are some folks who know that paid leave is necessary in the house. We have, as a part of what would be an impossible agenda, the fight for aging and disability care. And important to underpin all of that, we are fighting for the dignity and the jobs in the space of caregiving. And here fundamentally is what I believe all of that is about. All of that is about freedom. the freedom to raise our children in environments of safety and dignity and learning at their highest priority. The freedom to know that our aging parents who are, have given the world and their community the best that they could, the freedom to know that they're getting the best care in the world in a community that has helped them to contribute their greatest potential. Absolutely. We are all of this is about the freedom to know that we can, as caregivers, retire with dignity after having given so much of our lives to the people that we care about. It is all of this. Our full agenda is about the freedom to live our whole lives. Our whole lives. I love a good amen corner, and I don't know this lady, but I promise you, I did not pay her to be my amen corner, but I'm so grateful for a solid amen corner. Before I wear out my welcome, I'm going to try to bring my comments to an end. But in this fight for freedom, brothers and sisters, in this fight for freedom and our care agenda, it is government leaders like me who have a role to play. Not just as your champion. We used to do a lot of work, Arnulfo, to give people, elected officials, the title of being a champion. And a champion meant so much that they had come and walk a day in the shoes of our members, that they had passed a piece of legislation or introduced a piece of legislation, that they had come to a meeting in which our members and caregivers across the state could actually talk with them about what was on their minds and top priority for them. I come here because elected officials like me don't just get to be champions in this fight. I want you to know that as we take on the opportunity and the fight and doing exactly what we must do, to overcome and to achieve what others would believe to be impossible. As we show up as ordinary people choosing to do something extraordinary, our elected officials don't just get to be champions. I invite you to call on and demand of us that we join you as fighters. That we join you as organizers. Give us assignments to go and talk to the 5 people that we know that's sitting right next to us on the floor and get our assignments done. Give us the work plan that we need to accomplish to get the next 5 things done to move the campaign forward. We don't just get to be your champion and stand on the stage and raise our arms in victory. You've got to expect us to join you in doing the work. To join you in doing the work. And I am in this seat as the senator for California because I have stood next to you doing the work. I want you to call on me to make sure that I never forget the work that we have done together. And I want you to make me an example of what you expect from your future elected fighters, from your future elected organizers, from those who you demand to join you in doing the work. From joining you to do the work. My last comment is one that I hope is something that will stay with all of us as we take on this mission impossible, as we do the extraordinary things. And it simply is an offering of W.E.B. Du Bois. And as much as I love and appreciate the men who are in this room, who are caregivers, who are allies of caregivers, who are organizers in the space of caregiving. The fact that there is a predominant representation of women in this space reminds me of the words of W.E.B. Du Bois. And those words were, I hope, the next words that we're going to be putting on all of our T-shirts as we move forward. W.E.B. Du Bois said that there is no force, there's no force equal to women determined to rise. And so Caring Across Generations, SEIU, AFSCME, tech leaders, businesses, entrepreneurs, this is our moment to rise. This is our moment to rise because we, generations of our families, have been determined to advance our communities, to advance our economic opportunity, to advance the opportunities for our children, to advance the dignity of providing care. There is no greater force equal to women determined to rise, and I am excited about rising with all of you. Thank you so much for having me.